So you want to move to Germany. I'm sure you have a lot of questions about where to start. Jobs, visas, insurance, housing. Well, as two seasoned foreigners who have lived in Germany for 2 years already, we thought we'd share a couple of important tips about life in Germany you may not have thought about.
Hey guys, and welcome back to our channel. I am Donnie.
And I'm Aubrey.
And we are two Americans currently living in Germany and sharing all of our experiences living and traveling throughout Europe. There are a lot of things you have to consider when moving to Germany, like what kind of visa you can get, how does German insurance work, which Bundesliga team you will pledge allegiance to. Well, it is important to focus on learning the answers to those big questions, but there are also a lot of things about living in a foreign country that you really can't prepare for. Sometimes you have to learn on the fly because you cannot anticipate all the differences in everyday life you will encounter unless someone like us is able to warn you before. Since we have now been living in Germany for 2 years, we have started getting used to the little quirks and nuances to adjusting to life abroad, and we thought that we would share with you the absolute most important tips about moving to Germany to make your transition a little easier. And that is exactly what we are going to talk about today in our video, what to know before you go. Here's what we learned so you don't get burned.
We just recently did a video on how Germans stay cool and survive in the summer, and depending on where you're coming from, this is something you will probably have to learn to overcome that first summer living in Deutschland. Some of you may be coming from a place that is extremely hot, are used to having air conditioning, and this will be your first summer without it. Because you come from a hot climate, you may also be lured into thinking the summers in Germany are quite cool when you're in the first weeks of July and it's only 72 degrees Fahrenheit, but do not be fooled. A snap of high heat is on its way, and you don't want to be caught without heat relief.
That is why our first important tip about moving to Germany is when you start seeing fans being sold in the spring, buy one, or two, or three. That's because when the heat sneaks in, fans become a hot commodity and sell out extremely quickly. This will leave you sweating and slowly cooking inside your home as you wait for the heat wave to move on. So don't let the long, cool spring or mild early summer fool you into thinking you don't need to buy a fan when you first see them. Go ahead and get one and thank us later.
Of course, many people rely on Google Maps when they need to know where something is and directions on how to get there, but between Germany and the US, we have to use Google Maps a little differently. Sometimes in the US, if we were confused on where we were going and wanted to know what the place looked like that we were trying to find, a common thing we would do would be to drag the little yellow man to the spot where we were headed to check the Google Street View. However, in Germany, this is not possible. Mostly.
If you want to see what a place looks like on street level, you will have to actually go to that place yourself. That is because Germans are very conscious about data protection, and when they suddenly had a strange car driving through the streets of their towns and taking photos of every house, they did not take to that too well and stopped Google from performing this service in Germany. So when you try and hover the little yellow man over Europe, you will see all of Europe light up blue with possible street view destinations with an obvious Germany-shaped hole in the map where the possibilities mostly do not exist. Now, you can still use Google Maps for general directions to places, no problem in Germany, just no street view except in very limited cases. So our second piece of advice for living in Germany, don't rely on Google Street View to confirm a location you are going to. This honestly shouldn't be a major hindrance, just an interesting little piece of trivia about Germany. By the way, guys, it would be a massive help to us if you took 2 seconds to hit that like and subscribe buttons while we present to you a bonus tip that is actually brought to us by the sponsor of this video, Lingoda. One of the best things you can do for yourself when moving to Germany is, of course, learn German. And today we want to tell you how you can start learning in one of Lingoda's 2-month challenges this autumn, and after completing, get 100% of your money back.
Do you guys remember making New Year's resolutions or during lockdown telling yourself you would finally improve your foreign language skills, but then the year got away from you? Well guys, there are only 4 months left in the year, and if you are ready to stay committed for 60 days this autumn and bring your language skills to the next level, then you need to check out the Lingoda Language Sprint. It is an intensive language challenge where you are challenged to take either 15 classes or 30 classes a month for 2 months. This special autumn sprint challenge can take you from basic small talk to being conversational in just 2 months. And actually, Lingoda is how I have been learning German, and I'm loving it, just like the 40,000 other people who have already participated in Lingoda's sprints.
Lingoda's classes meet via a Zoom call that is taught by a native speaker of your desired language. Only has up to 5 students in each class, and you get to take classes whenever it is convenient for you because they offer classes 24/7 and you get to do it from the comfort of your own home. Besides German, Lingoda also offers online language classes in English, Business English, French, and Spanish.
Lingoda's sprint challenges will begin on September 7th. If you complete their super sprint challenge, they will give you all of your money back if you simply just go to 30 classes a month for 2 months. Or if you do their sprint challenge and attend 15 classes a month for 2 months, you will receive 50% of your money back.
For both of these challenges, you must sign up before September 3rd. Sign up with our link below or with the voucher code PASSPORT20 to get a €20 discount on the sprint. Don't forget to check out Lingoda's FAQ session before joining.
As always, we are only going to recommend things that we truly believe in, and this definitely is one of these things because I personally already was using Lingoda before partnering with them. Fall in love with language learning this autumn and join the Language Sprint to boost your speaking fluency in just 60 days. If you are using Google Maps on your first road trip across Germany, you may inevitably have to pull over for a quick rest stop along the Autobahn. Germany is generally a great place for road trips, and one reason being because of the abundance of super clean and well taken care of paid rest stops all across the country. Notice I said paid rest stops. There are free rest stops that you can stop into, or you will find a lot of people just use the beautiful natural bathrooms all around us called the nature. But a lot of gas stations along the Autobahn will also have restrooms that you pay to use that are generally very nice and clean.
These bathrooms normally will be guarded by a turnstile, and you will pay anywhere from 50 cents to maybe up to €1.50 depending on the bathroom to use it. And then you will receive a little slip of paper called a bon. These pieces of paper are coupons that are redeemable in the gas stations the bathrooms are attached to for a discount on a coffee, a snack, or some other good they sell so that you can get a little bit of your money back that you spent on the toilet. Which brings us to our third tip: don't throw those slips of paper away. They are not usually only valid for that day or trip, and you can actually redeem them at a later date. So you don't want a coffee and you have to jump on the road right away? Save the bond for a future road trip where you can redeem it to get yourself a little bit off of a treat.
One of the most shocking experiences for foreigners, in particular Americans that have just moved to Germany, is the grocery store checkout experience. Where in the case of the US, we're used to placing our items on the belt and then standing there patiently waiting to pay while the clerk diligently scans your goods and another bags your groceries for you. But in Germany, you will place your goods on the belt and then the clerk will rapidly scan your goods, throw them down to where you are expected to keep up with their rapid pace and bag the groceries yourself.
Our fourth tip to make your transition to Germany easier: do yourself a favor and don't feel like you have to bag your groceries right there. The German system is built on speed at the checkout, and they do expect you to keep up with the pace at which they scan your goods. Rather than fumbling with your bags and trying to make sure everything gets in them in a good order where your bread isn't getting squished by your canned goods, we have learned to just leave our bags in our car, and as the clerk passes us the scanned items, we just throw them back into the basket. Once we have paid and moved out of the way, we will then organize our groceries into our bags in the parking lot. Some people may go ahead and just open their bags into their cart so they can just drop their goods straight into the bag as they check out, which is perfectly fine, but this is what we have found works best for us. This mostly is true when we do larger grocery trips, whereas smaller trips for a few items may be easier to quickly organize the groceries in the bag right there at the checkout. For others already living here in Germany, let us know your strategy at the grocery checkout line in the comments below. Do you immediately bag, or do you bag later like us?
While living in Germany, you will get to know many new people, and that is one of the most exciting parts about moving to a new place. As you get to know Germans, you will start to learn about all of their endearing qualities and how nice the German people really can be. You will also quickly learn that Germans have a tendency where they love to give you advice and teach you how to do things without you ever asking for it. And because of that, our tip number 5 is to learn to accept the advice and tips with a smile and see if there is something you really can learn from it.
This is something that can truly be a very helpful thing, and especially for people just moving to Germany trying to learn the German way. Germans are very helpful and will make sure that you learn how to integrate into German society, whether it be by teaching you how to recycle properly, how to properly eat a Weisswurst, or which beer should be poured into which proper beer glass. Maybe, as you can see, we are addressing this issue as typical Americans by beating around the bush before we finally say this may eventually start to wear some people down. You may truly be doing things that there is no right or wrong way, but to a German, they must tell you how to do it properly. Or you may know there's a better way of doing something specific, but you choose to do it a different way for whatever personal reason you have, and you'll be minding your own business when out of nowhere a German may come up to correct you, even though that thing that you're doing doesn't affect them at all. This is when our tip comes in handy, and we have just learned it is better to smile and accept the advice and let them have their moment of satisfaction rather than questioning them because they truly do have good intentions. At least for the most part, we think that they do.
Truly, Germany is an amazing place to live, and if you're just moving here for the first time, we hope that you enjoy your experience. Of course, these may not actually be the 5 most important tips for moving to Germany, but this is just a funny collection of little things that we've picked up on since moving to Germany that has helped us feel more settled in and like Germany is our home. And by the way, if you were wondering what the proper way of eating a Weisswurst is, there is a little casing you should peel off first before eating the sausage. Oh no. We're becoming German.
If you have lived in Germany for a while and have other quirky little tips for someone just moving to Germany, please be sure to drop those in the comments as well. To see who made it this far into the video, the random question of the week is Kartoffelsalat or pommes? Which is the superior side dish? Thanks so much for watching this video, guys. Please be sure to hit that like and subscribe buttons, and we will see you in our next video.
Cheers!
Drama, build, action. Do you immediately bag or bag later like us? Wait, let me say that again. Do you immediately bag or do you bag later like us? One different tone. So don't.
Loud cars.
Loud cars. That's the problem with filming during the day.